What?
Long live.
Long live
TMA.
You're listening to
Audio.
Student Voices Edition.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to Student Voices. I'm Nick Lanier. Today we have
Aaron Wondra,
Dylan Hawkins,
and Cooper Slough.
and we're going to be talking about hacker culture today. And some of our subtopics we'll go over is the beginning of hacking, evolution of hacking, internet movements such as 4chan, the dark web, Anonymous, and Imgur. And then, kind of speaking about Imgur, we'll move on to viral media and memes, and then we'll kind of recap, and then we'll head out. So we'll start off with the beginning of hacking. So, kind of go around the room, and I can start off about what we all personally think is the beginning of hacking. And this is a broad thing because there's no set term anymore, or people thought there would be. So I think personally that the invention of the decoding machine that Alan Turing did, pretty much the startings of computing. Decoding the Nazi messages and everything, and because of what Alan Turing did, we kind of led to computers and advanced electronics, stuff that we would not have today if Turing didn't do what he did personally, in my opinion. Coop, what about you? What do you think?
I really have no idea. Where to even start, where to even look about starting. Computers is really not a focus of mine, as much as it's a tool. I don't study computers. I study things that have to do on computers. So honestly, I don't really know.
And that's perfectly fine because we're trying to represent all the kinds of views that are out there in the world today.
Definitely. So, just doing a little bit of research on it before our discussion today. The definition that is provided through our class is that it's pretty much the basics of problem solving and wanting to be out there and create and problem solve any kinds of things. There was an example of just basic hacks in life, so college hacks and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the beginnings of hacking were just the initial responses, nothing to do with computers or anything at all. Because when you think of hacking, you automatically assume technology and whatnot. So I'm gonna go back and say just basic problem solving and finding new uses for anything, I'm caveman life, finding new uses for sticks and all this other stuff that, you would not...
kind of like alternative uses for flint and steel.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go back and say it's way before any sort of modern technology.
Technological improvisation.
Yeah, exactly.
Which can, to any technology, not just electronics, gotcha.
I'm gonna have to agree because I think if you think about what hacking is, it's using something that it wasn't intended for, but as long as it suits you for what you're using it for and benefits you, then it's a net gain. If you, I think the reason it's become so intertwined with computers is because the possibilities are so open. You can do anything on those machines, and if you don't set your tools up right, someone else will figure out how to use it to benefit them.
And if you think about it, most of the tools we use in our lives today are electronical devices. I mean, yeah, sure, we use the fork and we use the spoon, but that's just common nature to us. The searching and finding new uses for things that are relevant today are on the computer and other technologies.
So you talked about a fork, and I got a good example to kind of go off of that. The spork.
Spork, perfect.
Yeah, that's hacking in your opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just that kind of stuff that we're seeing more and more of. We're seeing more innovation and more hacks on computer systems and other technologies.
Because they're constantly evolving.
Yeah.
In my mind, a hack isn't really a new invention. It's when you use if you had a butter knife and you used it as a screwdriver, that'd be a hack, because it worked. But that's not what it's for.
Yeah.
A spork is specifically for both. It was designed for that purpose.
So would you guys go as far as saying that all new innovations are born out of some sort of hack?
Well, they're they can be, but the whole thing is like a hack is like just a temporary thing. It's something that works at the time. It's like the whole like definition when they started like coding or whatever. A hack was like a piece of code that fixed the problem but wasn't necessarily semantically complete, or like how it was like,
it was a quick fix that needed
it's
to
a
be
quick
researched
fix
upon.
that's like, it's not something you want to go around and show everybody, look what I did, because it looks like crap.
So when,
but it works, is
so
the whole key.
when does it go from being a hack to being
When you
an
design
actual
when you design it specifically
process?
for that purpose, when you pick up a fork and it's specifically designed to pick up food and that's what you use it for, that's when it's its own thing. But when
So-
you're using it for something it's not intended, that's
when
not
it's
that.
refined. So let's
Yeah.
go back to the spork example. I hate to be kind of tacky, but I don't know how it happened. I know it started in Wichita. The company that manufactures them and the inventor is from Wichita, but
Random facts for today.
yeah, random fact for the day. Fact check me on it, probably though. So I have no idea how it invented. We could look it up in just a second, but
Yeah.
possibly one of the ways that a spork was hacked together was the guy had a Dremel or something and sharpened it a little bit on the edges so you could cut stuff, and then kind of took out divots so you could fork stuff up.
Yeah. I think it was a pure economy thing, because I mean, you don't have to make a fork and a spoon now. You just
Yeah.
make the one, so every like little package of
So, like,
silverware you sell has less plastic in it.
For schools, packing your own lunch. 'Cause, I mean, my dad's got a titanium one that he takes with him
Yep.
to the shows and stuff. So if he picks up a lunch somewhere, he'll use that. So yeah, but that's kind of a good example. Do you want to go ahead and move on to kind of like the evolution? We kind of did that, but to expand upon it a little bit. So as you were saying, it's gone from the making fire, using something that we had there was no use for, and making fire or something, and then kind of evolving to, well, this is our platform for hacking now. Electronics have become, the internet has become our platform for most hacking. And so I guess kind of you could apply an adjective to it, electronical hacking, internet hacking. I don't know, what are you guys kind of trying to figure out the question to ask here?
Well, I guess, where do you think hacking is going? Like, where do you think the future of hacking is going to be?
Like computer hacking, or just like in general, like.
Let's do computer hacking first, or do you think it would be better
I think
to
we
do-
could touch on a general one, because I mean, Ron was having us kind of talk about in class gene splicing and gene.
Would you call that hacking?
We wouldn't
I
want
would
that
call
to be
that hacking. You're not supposed to. In most cases, law of nature, you're really not supposed to mess with that stuff. But that we can, and
Well,
we're doing it
we've
now.
subverted the hell out of the law of nature. Do you
Yeah,
know
we
that,
have.
right? Like, we drive around
We've
in cars
hacked
all day.
nature.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
So would you call the Liger a hack?
Oh, we're talking about where hacking's going in the future. If you're talking about computer hacking, I think we're going to see a lot more like people going after high value targets like medical devices and stuff. There's going to be a lot more like malware on like pacemakers and like dialysis machines, and not dialysis machines, but like insulin pumps.
And as we get more connected, we have
Diabetes.
connected homes and everything. I completely refuse to buy all that stuff. Yeah, it would be
Oh,
nice
God,
to be
no.
able to change my thermostat from home, but the fact of the matter is, that's just another entry point.
Those
or
rap-
if someone knows what they're doing, they can unlock my door.
Those
from their
small
phone.
home routers,
Yeah.
like those little ones, run like Linux. Never update it ever. Like it's running like 5-year-old Linux, 10-year-old Linux, like.
And those have been exploited for the most part.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody has one of those things in their house.
You were talking like smart home applications, like on your phone, how to open your garage and stuff like that. So you don't trust that because of hacking?
I don't trust it. Not
Or
because
those-
it's hacking, just because it creates another window.
For people
to
Yeah.
get into things.
It's a hole in the
mess
fence.
with your stuff, man. Like,
So
if you talk about the Internet of Things, how they're gonna put like microchips and everything, all the light bulbs, so when the light bulbs go out, they know to put a new one in. Like that kind of
okay, yeah.
stuff. Like they always talk about that kind of stuff, but then I think there's gonna be a lot of repercussions if the necessary security is not built in, because I mean, if everything's hooked up to the network and it's not secure, like you have no idea what's going on. You might as well not have it on the network. You know what I mean?
And you'll find this with most app developers. They'll be pushing security and stuff, but half the time it's not even encrypted.
Yeah.
So take FileZilla, for instance, and this is really scary, and I found this while I was doing my internship over the summer. I did a little bit of debugging because we had a problem with one of our file servers.
Here on
The
Florida
password?
State campus?
No, it was at my internship. I won't say where for the fact that
Service password.
but it should be fixed. But so Mozilla, the software developer of FileZilla, did not encrypt your passwords when you sent the packet.
Well, that was just the protocol. They use FTP protocol.
Yeah, the
designed in the
FTP.
80s.
Yeah. So and we did SFTP and it left it plain text. It was plain text in the debug.
That's ridiculous.
Dump.
A lot of the problems we see right now with hacking are because a lot of the network protocols we use were designed in the 80s and security wasn't really in mind because normal people didn't have access to the type of machines
And
that would be connected
encrypting
to the
always
network.
creates another process and slows down the speed that we have, and we can't have the speeds we have today without leaving them somewhat unencrypted.
Yeah. Well, there's some it's all about priorities. There's stuff that you have to encrypt, and there's stuff that it doesn't matter. Like
a simple, stupid little app. But whereas we had like a file server, and if someone was on like our guest network and it was somehow able to penetrate into our
Wireshark, dude, you
Yeah.
could just see it flowing right there.
yeah, they
Look,
would see the
password.
plain text password if they were on our network and saw the packet in transit.
PC dump or TCP dump, ARP spoof, dude. It would have been
it would've.
over.
So that's kind of the thing is we're seeing a lot of people not care about security.
I
But
think-
then you're
I
seeing
think-
upper level people
I think the reason
really care about it.
I think the reason a lot of people don't care is it doesn't really affect them. There hasn't been like in the 90s there was like all kinds of computer viruses that would just wreck your computer. There hasn't been like a serious phone virus yet, you know?
No.
It's like gone around and locked up everybody's phone. Hey, send $50 to Eastern Europe or we're gonna break your phone.
Without most of those viruses are for like the unlocked phones and jailbroken and
They had one though they just came out with. I was reading about it was for the new iPhone that came out, and some company was paying $1 million for anyone that could get a hack through Safari or Chrome on those things, and they got one through on Chrome.
which is simple now because
There's
you
a
can
WebView
install
exploit,
install apps if they have a developer certificate on it. You can install apps from Safari now.
Yeah,
You can install from Safari?
Yes, you can.
like
Is that through the iTunes or is it just through?
Without
No, it's
permission in
through
the
if it's
background.
hosted. If they
Okay.
have
Like-
the correct type of file hosted, you can install an app via Safari.
Like Chrome though was like a full root exploit. Even if you weren't like jailbroke, they could get everything and install software and run it and pull data off your phone like whole 9 yards, bro.
And for the most part, you can kind of look at some of the more security concerns as we get more connected. Is that like voting machines and stuff? I'm
That
okay
should-
with mine because
I don't-
I live in the middle of nowhere.
I don't
and our
think that
voting
should
machine is
ever
gonna-
be. I don't think voting machines should ever be electronic. Like,
Yeah, well,
break
take-
everybody up into 500-person groups, cast your stones, and then like have everybody meet up to count. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So that's a thing down in Wichita right now with in the state of Kansas with Brownback being elected. So that's all public record, and so there was they were withholding the records and the ballots,
Yeah,
quote
there's a-
unquote
there's a-
ballots.
There's a math teacher down there, Wichita
Yeah, I
State.
read about that,
stats
yeah.
teacher that
Yeah.
says that the math doesn't add up, and she wants to run the numbers, and they won't give her the
So now
any
there's
of the data.
there's a lawsuit that's going on with the state of Kansas right now.
that's what I'm saying, dude.
To get into
to get in there and then possibly could lead to a recall vote, right?
Well, yeah, exactly.
If you truly believe in like honest democracy, then like never allow machines to count votes. Like they're just too easy to rig, and it's like impossible to verify if they're rigged.
So, real quick, I know we're kind of on this topic, but right now, in the stuff that Ron provided for us for this discussion board or whatever that we're talking about here for hackers, it talks about the difference between hackers and crackers. Is that a thing?
That's
or
like
is
an
it
old
just
thing.
a saying?
That's an old thing. It's kind of like
That's like a
dated now.
subclass.
Because before they would split up people that had malicious intent and were trying to steal stuff from people that were just like exploring.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that exploring has kind of died off, and now everyone's just stealing shit. You know, they're like running around and putting up viruses and like before it was just to see if you could get in and then you would leave. But now there's like everybody's got credit cards in their browser history. Everybody's got like, you know what I mean, Amazon accounts and stuff. Like it's before there wasn't as much money on the computer, so you could make that differentiation between like the people who were just like, hey, I'm learning stuff, and people were like, hey, I'm making money. But Now it's not so much because like you can't even verify if someone's hacked into your computer. You got all your credit cards on your computer. You're gonna change your credit cards just because they say they didn't do anything with it. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole different.
Would
time
you
now.
go into the money situation? Would you consider the people that are breaking into ATMs, not even breaking in, but plugging things in? Is that hacking or is that cracking? And what is cracking?
Cracking, like if you
By
go by the
definition.
traditional definition, like that would be cracking, like hacking maliciously, trying to steal stuff. But like now, the term hacking itself implies maliciousness.
And you have to apply as an adjective of of ethical hacking to kind of get into that. And we'll kind of summarize real
But,
quick.
like,
We'll move real quick.
If you want to talk about ethical hacking, that's kind of like that's like ethical breaking and entering, you know.
But it's for the greater good to improve security,
But who's-
to show you what the flaws are. So we'll summarize here in a little bit. We're going to move real quick into internet movements. It shouldn't take too long. So we have kind of like 4chan, dark web, anonymous, and Imager. So those are all really real quick.
Are those groups of people? Since
So 4chan...
Cooper and I here don't really know
4chan
too much
is
about
like Reddit, but it's like a lot deeper and can be somewhat pretty damn dark.
Oh, really?
And it's
Anymore,
not...
though, it's way too. I feel like it's way too mainstream now to be any as good as it was back. In
Yeah, it used to
Before
be.
it had
This
a lot of
is
light
where
shone on it.
like dark web stuff, Imager and Anonymous spawned out of was 4chan. This was the original social networking site, pretty much, and it allowed for anonymous. All of the every single post is pretty much anonymous. Now, granted, the moderators have the ability to ban your IP address. But so dark web URLs and communication between all these kind of facets were through 4chan.
Okay.
Because for the most part, it was pretty anonymous, and kind of moving into anonymous, they're a movement like 4chan. They're always dynamic. I think people think that there's a set, like head of people. There are those the ones that commonly come back to it, but it's pretty much okay. Well, here's one person who has participated before. I believe we should do this. Whoever wants to join up with me can, and there you have another group of anonymous. Okay. So it's always kind of changing, and then you have Imager, which kind of came out a couple years ago, and it helps. It's more of a catalyst for viralism now, and most of the things you'll see on Facebook come from Imager.
See, I have no idea what Imager is.
It's a picture sharing website, so everyone will just sit there all day and look at these pictures, and then they'll see something that they like, and then they'll edit another picture with if it's a joke, they'll put the joke in their picture.
Like memes and stuff.
Yeah, memes,
exactly. That's
moving into viral media and memes. So you have like Denver Broncos lost, or whatever. You have a million things that were posted about them the other night. Something in the world happens that's very drastic, like the Paris attacks. And that immediately that website gets swept up with all that stuff, and then half of that stuff from Imager will be used to say something for someone to say something on Facebook.
Okay.
So half the images I see on Facebook, you can go on the front page of Imager.
Are already on Imager.
They're already on Imager. That's
right
their
now.
origin.
If you're using Chrome, you can right click on a picture and go to search image and see where it came from.
And it just will take you.
For the most part,
pretty
you'll
much
see
it'll
Imager.
take you to Imager.
Yeah.
It'll let you know, man, you're not getting catfished.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So we kind of talked about the beginning of hacking, personally from each perspective. We kind of gone on to the evolution of hacking. We stuck on that quite a bit, and it was a fun topic to go over. Then we quickly glanced over internet movements such as 4chan, the dark web, Anonymous, Imager, and then moved into viral media and memes and how that affects social media, and it shows that it pretty much drastically it is all viral. And then we'll go ahead and sign out. So
Any last comments though? We got about a minute here left.
I like to agree with your point. Hacking, it's a DIY thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much that. Go Instructables, like, oh, hey, I need to do this. Well, here's an improvised way to do it. Jerry rigging stuff.
I just want to say that I think anonymity is a very important concept because it allows ideas to be judged on their merit, not the popularity of the person that said them.
Popularity, class, any of that social.
No labels attached to it. It's just straight up what it is. All right. Well, thank you for listening to Student Voices. I'm Nathan Lanier.
I'm Aaron Wondrick.
Dylan Hawkins.
And I'm Cooper Slough.
And we'll see you another time.